grandparents ate, breakfast was completely different. It was warm, made from real ingredients, and built for lasting energy, not the 10 a.m. sugar crash caused by modern grab-and-go food. Today, we're covering 10 traditional healing breakfasts that generations relied on for strength and sustained energy, backed by real nutritional benefits. Some will be familiar, others might surprise you. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's get into it. Number 1. Bone broth with egg and herbs, the morning gut healer. Starting the day with a warm, savory liquid instead of something sweet was the norm for most of human history, across cultures. In Vietnam, pho. In China, congee. In France, bouillon. Warm, slow-simmered broth in the morning is ancient and near universal. Bone broth contains glycine, proline, and glutamine, the amino acids that repair the gut lining. When that lining is compromised, inflammatory compounds pass into the blood and trigger systemic inflammation. Glycine reduces intestinal inflammation, promotes gut lining repair, supports liver detoxification, and has documented properties that reduce the morning cortisol spike. Adding a soft-boiled egg provides protein and B vitamins. Fresh herbs add vitamin C and polyphenols. Your grandparents didn't have the clinical language for any of this. They just knew it made them feel grounded and ready. Heat a cup of bone broth. Homemade is ideal. Quality commercial broth works well. And stir in a raw egg for the last 30 seconds of heating, letting it gently cook in the hot liquid. Scatter fresh chopped herbs over the top. Drink it from a mug or eat it from a bowl. 10 minutes of preparation, including the egg. This is genuinely one of the more restorative starts to a day you can make. Number 2. Soaked oat porridge with raw honey and walnuts. The cholesterol and blood sugar stabilizer. And I know, everyone knows oats are healthy. But most people aren't making oat porridge the way it was traditionally made, and that difference matters more than people realize. Traditional oat porridge was soaked overnight. Soaking activates phytase, an enzyme that breaks down phytic acid, the compound that binds minerals and reduces absorption. Soaked oats deliver significantly more bioavailable iron, zinc, and magnesium than unsoaked ones. The beta-glucan content of oats is where the documented health benefits concentrate. A Harvard study of over 100,000 people found that one daily bowl of whole grains reduced early death risk by nearly 9%. Beta-glucan reduces LDL cholesterol, slows glucose absorption, and feeds the gut bacteria that produce butyrate. Raw honey adds enzymes and a low glycemic sweetness. Walnuts add omega-3s and elagitannins with anti-inflammatory benefits. Your grandparents made this before going to work in the fields. The night before, cover a cup of rolled oats with water and a tablespoon of something acidic, yogurt, lemon juice, or apple cider vinegar. Drain in the morning, add fresh water or milk. Simmer for 5 minutes. Top with raw honey and walnuts. Number 3. Kippers with rye toast the brain and cardiovascular breakfast, smoked herring. I know most people recoil at the idea, but the nutritional profile is genuinely extraordinary. And the tradition of eating oily smoked fish for breakfast has roots across Northern Europe and Scandinavia, going back centuries. Kippers are herring cold smoked to preserve the full omega-3 content. A single serving provides more DHA and EPA than almost any common food. DHA makes up around 30% of the structural fat in brain gray matter, directly relevant to cognitive performance, mood stability, and preventing the neuroinflammation that drives long-term cognitive decline. Kippers are also one of the richest food sources of vitamin D, particularly relevant in northern latitudes where sun exposure is limited, and high in selenium, which supports thyroid function and antioxidant enzyme activity. Rye bread adds soluble fiber and a lower glycemic profile, sustained energy without the mid-morning crash. Grill kippers for 3 to 4 minutes. Serve on rye toast with lemon and butter. The smell while cooking is strong. Open a window. The taste is smoky, rich, and sustaining in a way that cereal will never be. Number 4. Liver on toast with caramelized onions, the most nutrient-dense breakfast that ever existed. I know, but the nutritional case is so strong that it deserves an honest conversation. Liver is the most nutrient-dense food per calorie of any common food. A single chicken liver serving provides more than the daily requirement of B12, folate, riboflavin, vitamin A, copper, and iron simultaneously. It contains CoQ10, choline, essential for memory and brain function, and heme iron, the most bioavailable iron from any food source. Liver was standard in English, Irish, and Scottish households through the early 20th century. People felt noticeably better on the days they ate it. That wasn't myth. It was the B12, the iron, and the choline doing their job before anyone had names for them. Slice chicken livers thin and cook in butter with caramelized onions for about 5 minutes, until just cooked through, not dried out. Serve on sourdough or rye toast. A squeeze of lemon over the top brightens the richness considerably. Once a week is enough to make a meaningful nutritional difference. Liver is potent and doesn't need to be eaten daily. Number 5. Soft boiled eggs with soldiers and watercress. The complete morning protein. This one is so embedded in British and European breakfast culture that it almost doesn't feel like it belongs on a forgotten list. But the specific combination, soft yolk intact, served with watercress, is something almost nobody does anymore, and the watercress is doing something specific that matters. Eggs score 100 on the protein digestibility scale, the reference standard for all other proteins. The yolk contains all fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, K2, along with lutein, zeaxanthin, choline for brain and liver function, and the full lipid profile for hormone production. Soft boiling preserves the yolk nutrients degraded by hard cooking. Fat-soluble vitamins are most stable when the yolk is still slightly liquid. Watercress was historically prescribed for liver cleansing and blood purification. Modern research confirms it contains glucosinolates that stimulate liver detoxification, extremely high vitamin K, and PETC, studied for cancer protective properties. It was a standard breakfast accompaniment in Victorian Britain because people noticed it made them feel cleaner and sharper. Boil eggs for exactly 6 minutes from a rolling boil for a set white and soft yolk. Serve with buttered toast cut into soldiers and a handful of fresh watercress, dressed with lemon and olive oil alongside. Simple, beautiful, complete. Quick pause. If you're finding this genuinely useful, drop a like. Let me know in the comments which of these your grandparents or parents actually made. I'm curious how much of this is still living in people's family memories. 5 down, 5 to go. Number 6. Cod liver oil with fresh orange juice. The morning ritual that built a generation. And this one is interesting because it wasn't really a food, it was a medicine that people took every morning as a matter of routine. In the UK, it was distributed free to children and pregnant women during World War II. In Scandinavia, it's been a daily morning ritual for generations. Cod liver oil is one of the richest natural sources of vitamin D and vitamin A, in their most bioavailable forms, alongside EPA and DHA omega-3s. A combination almost impossible to replicate from food in northern latitudes during winter. Vitamin D supports immune function, bone density, and mood. Retinol from cod liver oil is far more bioavailable than beta-carotene from plants. The omega-3s reduce systemic inflammation. The vitamin C in orange juice cuts through the fish oil flavor and also supports the conversion of omega-3 fatty acids in tissue. A teaspoon of high-quality cod liver oil. Fermented cod liver oil is considered the most bioavailable form, taken alongside a small glass of fresh orange juice. First thing in the morning before food. The quality matters significantly. Cheap cod liver oil is often oxidized and does more harm than good. Look for cold-pressed or fermented options that specify DHA and EPA content. Number 7. Fermented rye porridge, kasha. Eastern Europe's gut-healing morning bowl. Fermented rye or buckwheat porridge. And this one has deep roots in Russian, Polish, Ukrainian, and Eastern European cooking, going back centuries. In these cultures, kasha wasn't a side dish or a health food trend, it was the morning meal, the thing that sustained peasants, farmers, and laborers through physical days of hard work. Traditional kasha was made from grain soaked 12 to 24 hours before cooking. Natural fermentation breaks down phytic acid, improving bioavailability of magnesium, zinc, and iron, and develops prebiotic fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria. buckwheat kasha, has documented blood sugar stabilizing and cardiovascular protective properties. Rye kasha is high in arabinoxalans, a prebiotic fiber that feeds bifidobacterium species. Both are far superior to refined cereals that displace them. Soak buckwheat groats overnight in water with a tablespoon of yogurt or a splash of lemon juice. In the morning, drain and simmer in fresh water for 10 minutes. Top with a little butter, a pinch of sea salt, and whatever you have, berries, a drizzle of honey, some seeds. The slightly nutty, earthy flavor is genuinely good and keeps you full for hours. Number 8. Stewed prunes with full-fat yogurt, the digestive reset your grandparents never skipped. And look, I know the reputation this has. But the reason your grandparents ate them every morning was not irrational or old-fashioned. It was because they noticed, empirically over their lifetimes, that this combination kept their digestion regular, their energy stable, and their gut comfortable. The science behind why is actually fascinating. Prunes contain phenolic compounds with documented antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity. But the less discussed benefit is bone health. Multiple clinical trials show daily prune consumption reduces bone resorption and improves bone mineral density. Prunes are one of the few foods with robust clinical evidence for slowing bone loss. Full-fat yogurt provides live cultures that support the gut microbiome. The fat improves absorption of fat-soluble vitamins from the prunes. Full-fat dairy also contains butyrate that nourishes the colon lining. Simmer 5 or 6 prunes in water with a cinnamon stick for 10 minutes. Serve on full-fat natural yogurt, warm stewed fruit, and cool yogurt. The kind of thing you'd order at a good hotel breakfast, made at home in 10 minutes. Number 9. Sourdough toast with beef dripping or lard, the fat that built healthy generations. And here's the one that will surprise people the most. Dripping, lard, rendered animal fat spread on toast, the way people ate for generations before vegetable oils arrived and were aggressively marketed as the healthy alternative. Beef dripping and lard were the primary fats in most working-class households through the early 20th century. The generation that ate them had significantly lower rates of the cardiovascular disease and metabolic conditions that became epidemic after animal fats were replaced with processed vegetable oils. Beef dripping is rich in CLA with anti-inflammatory benefits, contains fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K2, and is stable at high temperatures. The 2010 meta-analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found no significant association between saturated fat and cardiovascular disease, overturning decades of dietary guidance. Sourdough has a significantly lower glycemic index than commercial bread because fermentation breaks down starches and develops organic acids that slow digestion. Animal fat and sourdough together is genuinely sustained energy without the blood sugar crash. Toast a thick slice of genuine sourdough. Check the ingredients list to ensure it contains just flour, water, salt, and starter. Spread with a thin layer of quality beef dripping or lard while still hot. A pinch of sea salt. That's it. Your great-grandparents ate this before a full working day. It works. Number 10. Raw milk warm porridge with blackstrap molasses. The mineral breakfast that nobody makes anymore. And we end with this. Warm porridge made with full-fat milk. Raw if you can access it, topped with blackstrap molasses. And this is the one that probably looks the most old-fashioned on this list. But the nutritional density of this specific combination is genuinely remarkable. Blackstrap molasses is the concentrated mineral residue left after sugar extraction. 1 tablespoon gives you 200 milligrams calcium, 60 milligrams magnesium, iron, potassium, and B vitamins. The sugar was sold as luxury. The molasses was kept as medicine. Full-fat milk contains fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K2, alongside calcium and protein. The fat slows digestion and improves vitamin absorption. Where raw milk isn't available, full-fat organic from grass-fed cows is the closest substitute. Cook rolled oats in full-fat milk over a low heat for 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. Pour into a bowl and drizzle a tablespoon of blackstrap molasses over the top. Don't stir it in immediately. Let it pool on the surface and mix it through slowly as you eat. The flavor is rich, deep, and warming in a way that feels genuinely restorative, which is exactly what it is. 10 traditional morning meals that prove real nutrition doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Instead of a quick spike and crash, they provide slow, grounding energy that lasts for hours. Pick one that fits your routine and commit to it for 30 days to feel the shift. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and tell me in the comments, which one of these did your grandparents make for you? I read every single one, and I'll see you next one.